I'm coming.
Look how handsome my honeybee is.
Hi.
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 Hi. Are you 7?
Yes, I'm 7.
7.
I'm 7.
That's how you say it, 7.
Yes, 7.
Okay. Hey.
What?
We should turn the Christmas tree on.
Okay, so where's the button?
I'll do it.
You'll do it.
I'll do it. Ready?
Well, get it doing it.
Alexa, Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Merry Christmas.
I did it.
You did it.
Guess what?
What?
I didn't even use any hands.
So it's a hands-free tree.
It's a hands-free tree.
Ah, that's awesome.
So, it's kind of been a long time.
Yes, it has been a very long time.
And how long? What, since when?
Since like August, September.
I think August.
Whenever you made your art print video.
Yeah, I think that was my last one with me matting the cross.
Yes, that was it.
And
we were getting ready for our beach trip.
Yeah, for our anniversary trip. I think I mentioned that we were going to talk about that next, and then we never really got to it.
We actually got to the trip, but we didn't get to the videos. And we just never had time to actually sit down and make these videos.
A lot of life happened.
A lot of life happened.
And then we decided that we would do like one big grand video.
Yeah, we were going to do just a year-end review, but while we were thinking about it, it really became just trying to do a Cliff Notes version, and you know
we weren't really happy with that.
Definitely wasn't happy because it skipped a lot of the details, and the details is what makes a story, especially a story like ours, so unique and so interesting, I guess, to talk about.
Yeah.
So
that's the whole reason we're here on YouTube, anyways, isn't it?
Yeah.
To share the unique part of our story, and so I think cutting that out would be a disservice to the channel.
Definitely.
So instead, we'll break it up into a few parts, like 3 parts maybe.
Yeah, do 3 parts and try to get it filmed and posted in a couple weeks. Yeah,
we'll show all 3 parts within the span of like a week or 2.
Yeah. What's first on the agenda?
Well, since I said before that we were going on our anniversary trip, why don't we start with the anniversary trip?
That's probably a good idea.
I think that's a good idea. I have good ideas sometimes.
More than mine.
Nuh-uh.
So we decided to go to Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is a few hours from here, and it's a really nice area. So we decided, since it was our first anniversary, and also since we didn't have a honeymoon, our honeymoon consisted of we left the wedding, and the next day drove 1,100 miles across country to move here. Yeah. So we didn't really have a honeymoon.
Moved me and my whole 40 years worth of living.
Yeah.
To a little apartment.
Yeah, all the way to Mississippi. So we had our first anniversary. We had our honeymoon. We had Labor Day weekend. Yeah. And it was my birthday.
Your birthday?
My birthday.
Woo! Is that a Southern way of saying birthday?
That's my way of saying it.
With an F instead of a TH?
That's just, the whole language thing. It's like my 3rd language, so.
English is
definitely my 3rd language.
What's the first 2?
Redneck and construction worker.
Construction? I thought you were going to say gibberish.
From the outside looking in, construction is a lot like gibberish. There's a little, depending on the area, a little more twang or less twang. So, and some areas have new words which I shall not say on purpose.
I mean, I'm not so sure that it's construction. I think with the gibberish that I read in your texts to me, I'm having to decipher. Oh, yeah. So just that's actually not true. I think you have to decipher mine more than I have to decipher yours.
Yeah, I asked a lot. Did rented thumbs?
Rented thumbs? That's what he asked me. You have rented thumbs?
Yeah, take them back. First thing on the agenda is the trip.
Yeah, and I did a whole lot of planning. I'm a planner. I like to plan. I like to schedule things out. I guess it makes me feel a little bit more in control, and also to get to maximize what we have going on. Yeah. And honestly, like with the way we do things together, planning things and knowing how to coordinate with each other is always a good idea. And we're still learning about each other as well, and each other's habits and things like that. So we're still learning how to work together. Yeah. But so in my planning, I decided to add a project that I don't know why I do that. I always add things to my list to do when I already have enough of things to do. But I
Yeah.
decided to make myself a beach bag for the trip.
A ginormous beach bag.
But beach bags are typically more
Yeah.
on the ginormous side.
Well-
At least when I'm looking at it, like from my perspective, beach bags are ginormous.
Yeah.
I think I could fit into it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I had to dig you out of it a couple times in there.
We're also still digging sand out of it.
Definitely. I just dumped a bunch of it out the other day when we went to try to pack something else up.
Yeah, it turned out really nice. I like
Yeah.
it. And I was thinking about maybe posting it on here on YouTube if anybody is interested in it. Maybe doing like a silent auction or something like that. So we'll share some pictures of that, and you guys
Yeah.
can tell us what you think. But
Would that be like a game used jersey? A beach used beach bag?
but
Interesting.
I'm not famous.
Famous enough. More famous than I am. You've been on like TV and not with the blinky lights.
Well, not with the blinky lights.
Yeah, woo! Pull over.
Oh, you mean like you?
Yeah, exactly. So,
We won't go there.
no, we're not. I'm not. Statute of limitations have not passed yet.
Oh, all right. Well, moving along then.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we almost didn't get to go on our trip though. Being
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend, that's typically a hurricane season, and they had some tropical storms in the area. And
Had one get into the Gulf, and anybody that knows weather knows that if a tropical storm gets into the Gulf, it can get really exciting in a hurry. But it ended up not being too bad. We had some weather coming in, but we was afraid at first. More worried about just raining it out. I was not going to spend a bunch of money and do a bunch of work to sit in a hotel room.
yeah, but
So-
then I had come up with some things to do indoors, and you were cool with that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we decided
There was
to
some
go.
really neat stuff to do indoors that I never even thought about doing there. So,
And also part of the planning was me wanting to surprise Michael with something for his birthdays. Ever since we started talking, he always wanted to get me in some Daisy Duke shorts and a crop top. And
well,
a
country boy wouldn't want that.
Yeah, him and he likes a country girl, which I am not.
Well, you got a lot of the values and everything that makes a country girl. You just happen to have been in the wrong location.
Oh,
So that's why you don't have the shorts. You got the values and beliefs that will work out well. You just didn't get the shorts.
well, another reason I didn't get the shorts is that I've got a wide bottom.
Yeah, things happen.
No, so my wide hips really do make it hard for me to wear shorts of any kind, really. And I told him, I'm like, you're crazy. I am never wearing denim shorts ever. And so I thought, you know what? They kind of make them stretchy now. So maybe they would work. Because they've got to get up over my wide hips, but then still be small enough to fit my waist. And that's kind of a feat. So I had enlisted the help of a friend, and actually she's a PCA as
Yeah.
well.
Started off as a PCA, now she's a great friend.
Yeah, and a PCA.
Yeah.
She's both.
Yeah, but
So she gets paid to be my friend.
it's pretty funny.
So I enlisted in her help because I didn't want the shorts coming here. So I had them sent to her. I think I ordered like 9 pair of shorts to try on of different styles and like sizes and things like that. And so we tried them on while he was at work when they came in, and it was a huge ordeal. There were like so many times when I thought he knew something was going on. Alexa, wait, she heard me. She almost ruined it like so many times for me, like announcing things while Michael was here in the house, and I would just
I had
like,
no idea what was going on.
I was just trying to ignore it, and he actually had zero clue.
Yeah, I had no idea. You said something about the shorts being shipped, and I just thought
Yeah.
I thought you was
Oh,
ordering.
yeah.
I thought you was ordering my swim trunks because my swim trunks were out of date
Yeah.
by a lot.
No, they weren't swim trunks. But Alexa was like, your order has arrived, including shorts. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I looked around and I said box. I said, and why aren't they here?
Yeah.
And she just ignored me and left the room. I was like, hello, where's my beach shorts at? She goes, I don't know, I guess I'll be here later. I had no idea that I was getting Daisy Dukes. Sneaky.
So I think I only chose like 2 pair of shorts. and had them both wrapped.
For me to open up when we got down there. To get down there, it's about 3 hours, 3.5 hours or so.
Really?
I think it is.
No.
Yeah, it's about 3.5 hours.
Oh, I thought it was longer.
Man, 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
4.5.
it's 4.
I think it's 4.5.
Yeah.
Of course, if you go the way we went, it's a lot longer. Yeah. So we ended up going to, you wanted to stop by and go to yes.
Laurel, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. I don't
Yeah.
know why. We were literally just talking about it. So
Yep.
I love Ben and Aaron from Hometown on HGTV.
Yeah, do you always say that I'm your Ben? Or?
You're my Ben.
Yeah.
But I love them. And Laurel is what, like 3 hours from here?
Laurel's
2.
right at 2 hours.
2 hours from here.
Yeah.
So I asked if we could go through that way, and we did. And we
It's
went.
it's kind of in little jog off to the side of the trip to get down there, but it was on the way, so we went.
We went to Laurel Mercantile, and it was a cute little place.
Expensive, cute little
We couldn't
place.
really afford anything, but we wanted to have something that said we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that we found that we could afford was a magnet.
Yep.
And I'm not one for collecting magnets. I don't like things all over the fridge, but I was like,
Yeah,
we'll get it.
we had none on the fridge before. So.
Nothing.
Yeah, so we went there, then we left, went on down to the beach. And I like to go a different way than a lot of people go. If you want to just go straight to Gulf Shores and stuff, you'll go through Mobile and come down the east side of the bay and just go straight into Gulf Shores. I like to go down through Dolphin Island, and I knew she'd never been to the beach, and I knew that was more of a scenic route, and you get to cross on a ferry and everything to get there. So we went down that side, and it's a really nice trip. Go through Bayou La Battery, which is a really nice place.
Isn't that where Forrest Gump?
Yep, that's where Forrest Gump was where he was at, and all the shrimp boats and all that.
Yeah.
That was right there at Bayou La Battery.
I wanted to go on those shrimp boats so bad.
Yeah, instead we went on the ferry.
Yeah, the ferry boat.
Yeah,
Which I was looking forward to, because you were telling me that you're able to get out of the vehicle
Yeah,
on the ferry, and so I was like waiting for that.
yeah.
And
We got there, and we had to wait. Actually, because of the amount of cars there, we had to wait for 2 ferries before we finally could get on one. And then got in there, and then I remembered that your memories aren't always quite as accurate as what you thought there was. Last time we was on there, we was all in our trucks, and I got out. We hung out on the thing, and it was actually during a storm. We had a big waves and stuff last time I went. But I remember getting out, so I was like, "Yeah, we can get out. It ain't gonna be a problem." And then forgot that
they pack you
wheelchair
in like sardines.
like mirror to mirror sardines.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yay! We're going on a ferry.
Yay!
We're crossing Mobile Bay
Well,
on a ferry.
this is Dolphin Island.
Yeah, we're going from Dolphin Island to Fort Morgan. Check it out. Hey, we're on the boat. Yeah, you can't get out. I might get out to get some videos. We're pulling up. They're gonna stack us in here like sardines.
They really are.
I don't know if I can get out.
We're almost to the front, like at the front.
Yeah, we're up to where we can at least see.
Yay, I can see the water.
Yeah, we could see water.
See the water.
Yippee yay!
And so I didn't get to get out, obviously, with the wheelchair lift. There was no wheelchair getting out.
No, there was
You
no.
could barely get out.
I barely got out. But the good thing is the way that we were in line was she actually was up front. We had one row that came in and then us, and they broke it right to where we were the first car to get up in the very center of the boat. So she had a really good view, even though she was still in the van. So I got out and I took a bunch of videos, and we was following having the ferry. They have one that goes eastbound and westbound, so we got to watch the ferry cross by us, and some of the
It was at sunset, too.
yep, it was a sunset, and it was really pretty. I was kind of sad that you didn't get to get out, but it was fun because you got to see the front, and
Yeah.
I got to run around the boat and playing around and taking a bunch of videos, which I like doing.
Yeah, he definitely had fun doing that, and was showing all the videos to me when he got back. And so we got to the hotel, and then the next morning,
Yeah, was when I got this surprise.
yeah, that was, and I recorded him a little bit. I didn't do a great job, but
Honeybee,
What?
I have a surprise for you.
What?
Yeah.
It was.
Don't make that too small, because then it will come through the...
It looked like it was untied. That's why I was trying to untie it. I was trying to make sure it was good. And tight.
I may want to revise this someday, but
This is a very nice bag.
hold it up by the strap.
It's,
Isn't that so cute?
it's got. Ta-da!
Yeah, look at it. Okay, inside that bag, I have something for you. You'll notice there are a few gifts. One of them is not...
few gifts.
Yeah. One of them is not until later, but you can pull all three out. So there's 3 in there. Find them. 1, 2. Actually, you don't have to pull the third one out, because those are the 2 I want you to open right now.
What's the third one? I see a card.
And that's for later. It's for later.
Why? Is it my birthday? What is this?
Yeah, it is for now, because
What's this for?
I want you to open them. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
An explanation has to come with it, so.
I'm not so sure what that means.
Okay, open it. You think you could wear those, Honeybee? You think they'd fit you?
I bet I'd fit in it. I'm not sure.
Okay, so you know how
It's
you
like some Joe Dirt.
you know how you've asked me since we've been together for me to wear denim shorts, and I said absolutely not, ever, never, ever.
Yes, I know.
So I bought like 11 pair of shorts one day from Amazon, and Razy helped me try all of them on to see if I could
You
fit.
wore that poor woman out.
I
trying to put
know.
clothes on.
Yeah, I've been busy. So open the other one.
It's got 14 snaps on the front of it.
Yeah.
But I'd say I don't think my hips fit in that.
Yeah, well, my hips are the issue too, so that's why I had to try on 11 pair.
I had no idea that you was trying on pants. That's why you wouldn't answer me.
Yes, I was so busy though one day. I'm literally sitting on our bed trying shorts on.
Okay.
All right. And I'm not going to say that I look good in them at all.
You never say you look good at anything. I'm the one that has to be like, you look good. Stop that.
But I'm going to wear a pair today.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You okay with that?
Well, yeah.
Okay. I think I want to wear the ones with the 15 buttons.
As long as I get to see your booty, I'm happy.
Okay. I love you.
I love you.
Okay, let's try them on.
Okay.
So we opened the shorts, and did you like them?
Oh, yeah. I liked them a lot.
We were gonna go to the beach that day, but it turned out that part of the tropical storm did get us.
Yep, we had some rain come in.
Some?
Some, yeah. It was flooding down there at first. That morning it rained, and it was almost a total washout. We ended up doing the tourist thing, and we rode around. We rode the beachfront highway, and we wanted to go. We started to do our inside stuff. We actually got to the museum, and then it was raining so bad it was like there's no way.
Well, it was a railroad museum because I
Yeah.
like trains. And when we got there, it was like this little old dilapidated building, and we're like, what kind of trains fit in there?
Yeah, and it was the parking lot was underwater. I was like, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, so we ended up going all the way down to Florida.
Passed by the Floribama. We drove into Florida, turned around, come back, and just as we was coming back, we kept checking the radar and everything, and saw that there was a break in the clouds, a break in the storm, and just got back to the hangout, which is right there in Gulf Shores, and we circled around, went to the beach. In your planning and stuff, she found the mats they had.
Yeah, they had these mats that go down the beach for people in wheelchairs, and I was so excited about trying those out. And I knew they didn't go all the way to the water, but they were supposed to go all the way down right before the little dip in the sand,
to drop down
which
to the water.
totally makes sense because, I mean, you don't want wheelchairs really going down that dip anyway.
No.
So I was so excited to try it out, and we get there, and the mats didn't even go like a quarter of the way down.
They went didn't go very far.
No.
And it's understandable, but on the satellite imagery, it
Yeah.
looked like it was much farther.
Yeah.
But when you're down there in person, you're like,
It wasn't close at all, and I was a little disappointed. I mean, it was further than I would have been able to go
otherwise.
in a wheelchair. And when we got down there to the end of it, realized that
It's like a T. You walk down. You go down, and then you can go left to right
Yeah.
on it. So we're getting down. You went left and go straight ahead to the blue thing. You can try it. They sure do got it humped up right there, don't they? Ta-da! Too bad it doesn't get out there close to the water.
and we realized.
Just as we got there, I realized I forgot the tripod
Yeah.
for the camera.
So he went back for the tripod, and as he did, I saw a rescue.
Like a beach rescue guy
beach rescue.
on the side-by-side.
Yeah.
He drove by.
He drove by, and I thought, like, just silly to myself. I was thinking, I wonder if he would take me down to the water. And you had come back.
And just as I got back,
You were like, hey, I saw the rescue guy go by. I wonder if he would take you down to the water. And I was like, I was literally just thinking about that. So him being the kind of guy he is, like, I would never have asked. But him, he's like flagging him down, and he's like,
I ain't bashful. He's got a side-by-side he can drive on down there. So, hey, how you doing?
so he flagged him down, and he come over, and he's like, hey, how much would you charge us to take my wife down to the water? And what did he say?
And he said, how about $3.99? I was like, yeah, that'll work.
And he literally packed up all of our stuff.
I tossed everything in the back of the side-by-side and we left the power chair there on the mat and tossed her in the front seat, locked the seatbelt on her, and he drove down to right there to the water where it breaks down to going down to the water. Got there, and I walked over to where they were at and unloaded everything.
Yeah. And they were about to close, so he said, I'm sorry, I can't leave you guys here very long, if we wanted him to get us back up.
Yeah.
So, but he did give us like 40 minutes or so, enough time to like get pictures with the water. And
I got to see her in her Daisy Dukes on the beach. I was excited.
yeah, and I wanted to take pictures of the beach bag near the water and stuff like that. So we got to do all that, and I got to put my little toes in the sand and
Yeah, she's getting a ride on the beach rescue from the sandbar, or the beach. I'm not on a river, I'm on the ocean. So. And I'm wandering across the sand. I should have gotten a ride. Yeah, I didn't bargain for this too well. I should have been the one getting a ride. But she's having a blast. Next stop, the hangout. And I'm gonna eat so much shrimp, make a head spin. So, yeehaw. And the good thing is we was on the beach right in front of the hangout, so that's where we wanted to eat dinner at. And so we walked back across the beach, put all of our stuff in the back of the van, and just walked up to the hangout. And it was, as everything was, a 2.5 hour wait.
yeah. It takes you 5 minutes to get there. And
2.5 hours to sit there.
Yeah. But it was fun because the hangout is a sort of a place where, like, I would describe it as like a restaurant / party / carnival
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, they had a band and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, they got games and stuff to play, and you know.
You can see the beach and the sand while you're eating dinner and everything. So it's really nice. And I went around setting you on top of all the hangout signs and everything to take pictures.
Yeah, what was the one with the hand?
Yeah, the hangout, surf's up
hangout?
or whatever.
Oh.
Beach, that's beach lingo. I don't know.
So we put the handless girl with the hand.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. She was like this with the.
I was surfing.
Yeah, she was surfing. Yeah, and of course it got excited because it was right at dark when we started eating. Of course, 2.5 hours later, it was good and dark by the time we got food.
Yeah.
And Alabama was playing, so you're in Alabama, and Alabama's playing college football. It gets a bit rowdy.
Yeah.
So,
People were dancing on the tables.
the DJ had
And it's a family restaurant.
DJ had the moms and the dads on the tables.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting on the table. I'm not doing that.
No. And then they rained down like a flurry of...
Alabama scored, and when they scored, they shot a confetti cannons off in the place.
It wasn't confetti, though.
Oh, yeah, it was napkins.
It was
a lot of napkins.
A lot of napkins. I mean, it landed all over our food. The whole floor was covered in napkins.
I had my mind on a piece of shrimp. I'm trying to get the shell off the shrimp, and all of a sudden, boom! There's napkins everywhere. And I look at her, and go, what happened?
And you got royal red shrimp wherever we went all weekend.
Yeah, I'm not going to the Gulf Coast without getting shrimp.
The next morning was our actual anniversary. It was a nicer day.
Yeah, it was nice and sunshiny and bright, beautiful day. So
We went to the zoo early, and I was a little disappointed in the size of the zoo. It wasn't as big as maybe I'm spoiled because our Pittsburgh
definitely
zoo.
spoiled on that because I was like, hey, at the zoo there's animals.
The Pittsburgh Zoo is amazing, and it's ginormous. And this was a little small zoo.
Yeah.
But the lemurs really gave us some entertainment. They were hilarious and so stinking cute.
So funny.
Rolling down the hill and pouncing on each other.
Then to land on one of them, that one would jump in there, then roll down the hill, then he'd jump on the next. Oh man.
I think we spent more time sitting watching them than anything else.
Yep.
And there was one thing after the zoo that I really wanted to do, and that was
that was like the main thing you wanted to do.
Yeah, even before we got there, like the dolphin cruise was something that I really was trying to plan to do, but I didn't make reservations before the trip because of the weather and everything, and I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to make it, and it wasn't a cheap cruise.
Did not want to put money down and then have to worry about trying to get the money back or whatever.
So I didn't make reservations, and then but after the zoo, when we realized it was going to be a nice day, I called in the zoo parking lot actually.
In the zoo parking lot.
And made reservations for the sunset cruise. I knew that was going to be pretty, and
that was the one that they're at Perdido Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we get there and we're waiting for for them to tell us to load. And Michael shows me the boat that we're going to be getting on, and I'm waiting. I'm thinking, okay, they're going to lay down a thing onto the what's it called, the pier.
Yeah, on the pier.
So that I can drive onto it. That never happened. That never happened. And so I drive down. The guy comes and tells us that we get to load first, which is a perk of being in a wheelchair. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But so he said we could load first, and when I get to the pier right there, he's like, "All right, ma'am." He's like, "Take your brakes off."
They had
put your brakes on.
They had a little ramp, but it wouldn't go on the.
It was not attached to the pier.
It was just laying.
There was
laying
a lot of water in between the boat and the pier, and and what did he say to turn my brakes off or on?
Off.
Off.
Yep.
I thought so, which meant I had to keep the chair on. That's how you keep the brakes off.
Right.
And then he's like, "All right, ma'am, we're going to lift your chair," and they are literally straddling the boat and the pier, and they're on both sides of me, and I'm like, "You bumped this joystick. Not only am I going down, you all are going down." And so I was freaking out, and then we realized, I said, "Wait a second, let me turn the chair off," and then you took it out of gear in the back.
Yeah, we unlocked the axles on the.
And then I felt a little bit more safe, like I wasn't gonna.
We had it.
Yeah, you did have it, but I was not okay with leaving that chair on with the joystick right at everybody's hands.
No, because you're driving to enough people when people run into you anyways.
Thanks.
I mean, other people run you into things.
Oh yeah, they do, because the joystick is up high for my arm. It's different than being down low, where like it's at people's like legs or whatever. No, people's arms and stuff are like,
and purses,
especially purses, are bumping into me, backing into me, and not realizing, and they're just driving me into things. So anyways, we got that that was cool. Then once we got on there, and I had the best seat on the boat.
Yes, you did.
I usually have to stay in my chair for things, but having a Sasquatch for a husband, he actually got me out and sat me on the bench right up at the front. What do you call that?
On the bow.
On the bow.
Yeah. The boat comes to a point, and the seats. She had the best seat in the thing because all us legged people had to face with our face towards the boat. She turned around and she was facing away from the boat because she had legs to worry about.
I was facing the water. Well, I probably turned around on that bench like
a dozen times trying to follow the dolphins.
Yeah.
She looked like what's that girl on the Titanic movie?
Rose.
The one that hang off the front of the boat?
No. No, I didn't.
She was sitting out there going,
no.
The boat's going in.
No, it was. But it was like supposed to be like an hour and a half or 2 hour
Right at 2
trip.
hours.
And right at sunset, obviously.
Of course, at sunset, on Labor Day weekend,
yeah,
everybody is on the water.
Yeah, and the water was already choppy because of the rain and stuff, and so the dolphins really weren't coming up.
Yeah, and those guys were bound and determined to get us to see dolphins. Yeah. They asked if we turn and go to another way, if everybody would be okay if they need to make plans or call or whatever, so that they could say we're just going to make one other more loop around to try to find dolphins. And everybody was like, yeah, let's do it. So we circled around. So our hour and 45-minute cruise turned into 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
Yeah, we got back at dark.
At dark. On the boat, we asked if there were any restaurants nearby on the water that we could go to that weren't super packed.
Yeah.
And I had been wanting lobster for weeks. The guy said, yeah, they'll have lobster there.
Yeah.
What was it called?
GT's on the bay.
Yeah. We get there. It's after 8 o'clock.
It's a fancy restaurant.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
Beautiful on the inside. They have a ginormous aquarium in there.
Indoor aquarium.
Mm-hmm. And we get there and they say it's a 2-hour wait. And they close at 10 and it's after 8. So,
I thought we were about to have McDonald's or something. It was getting kind of iffy.
On our anniversary night.
Yeah.
But they took us down anyways, and we had brought our wedding cake top. I wanted to do the whole, try it a year later thing, and I knew it wasn't going to be great, but
yeah, it wasn't.
But so that was in the van with us on a hot evening.
The whole time.
Waiting to get called into the restaurant, and we finally went in, and it was 10 o'clock when they called us in.
Yeah, right at 10 o'clock.
And we didn't really get to see the water because it was so dark, and they didn't have any seats outside. But it was still beautiful. So we had our dinner. You had your royal red shrimp. I can't remember what I had. Something with jalapeno peppers in it.
You had some kind of
It's a tater tot kind of a thing.
Yeah, it was like tater tot,
cheese,
salad almost. It was, I don't know. It was great though.
And I had brought you a gift for our anniversary, and
it was the entire series of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So I can study up on my one-liners because I forgot most of my Sheldon one-liners.
No, you have enough one-liners of your own. You don't need any more.
I like to have a whole lot in my repertoire.
Oh,
I can just knock them out real quick. Oh. It's good to have.
Big Bang Theory is one show that we both enjoy watching together. So our waitress was really cool. She brought us a big knife and a couple of plates.
Yeah, so we tried our cake topper.
Yeah, and it was disgusting.
Terrible.
Yeah, so the only way that I can describe it is, you know what freezer burn tastes like, but it was warm. And the icing was melted off of it.
Yeah.
So we were eating warm freezer burn.
Yeah, we took one bite.
One bite and it was done.
Just to say we did it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, that's it.
Yeah, no and the waitress came back and she's like, so how was it? And she could tell, but she's like, do you want me to handle that for you? And we were like, please, take it.
Here, you smell this.
Here we go. Smells like cake.
None of this sounds like a good idea to me. Just for the future warning.
Oh man.
That looks like mold.
It's not mold. It's the inside of the cake. It's chocolate. You picked chocolate cake.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a year ago.
You Oh, you've slept since.
I've slept
Do you
since then.
remember that we got married?
I remember that. Wake up to that every day. Ow! Finally. See this? So.
Oh man,
I'm so scared.
the icing isn't staying on. It is so all melted off.
I'm so scared. All right.
Yikes.
None of this. What?
Smell.
Smell.
It smells like.
None of this sounds like a good idea.
We're not really getting good video of this.
All right. Ladies first.
Yeah. I'm just taking a little bit. You're not shoving that whole thing in my mouth.
Watch.
No. It's not great.
You want me to try it now?
You know what it tastes like?
Okay.
It tastes like. At first, I was thinking like soap.
Soap. Stop eating soap.
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like something that had a lot of freezer burn, and you know, like that freezer burn taste. Even though it's not frozen anymore, it definitely has that taste.
Yeah, that's all I wanted.
It was kind of gross.
Kind of gross.
Kind of gross.
So, yeah. No, we're not doing any more of that. Throw that away.
Yeah, that was actually the end of the trip before we headed home.
Yep.
But on the way home, you wanted to see
Stop at the USS Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went. That was part of the trip, was to go. Part of the
Yeah.
plan was on the last day on the way back. Instead of going back across the ferry ride, just go the normal way and come up through Mobile. I hadn't been to the USS Alabama since I was a kid, and I love history. I love war history especially, and I love tanks and planes and guns and all of that stuff. It's my favorite thing to do. That's any boy growing up. I loved all the planes. I built model planes and all that. So
we went there.
yeah,
And
dodging rainstorms.
It was, yeah, we did dodge, but, and for real, like you can tell on TV or through pictures how big that USS Alabama is.
Yeah.
But
Because you'd never been to something like that, had you? Yeah.
But it is nothing compared to being there in person.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even fathom how large something like that is.
And big 16-inch guns on and everything.
And they have what did they have? 8 floors that you could climb.
I think it's 8 or 9 up, and I think it's 4 down. You
Something
can go.
like that.
Of course, it is a actual World War II for real,
Not a
real
replica.
real deal battleship. So it's not exactly
Military accessible.
Yeah, it's not.
Or Sasquatch accessible for that matter.
The submarine's worse, much
Yeah.
worse. It's much tinier.
Wasn't able to do the submarine at all.
We went out there by it, but we couldn't go in it. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you expect? It's an actual World War II submarine and actual World War II battleship. They're not going to cut the ship apart so people can get in and out of it.
No, but when I did get on to the ground,
The deck.
the deck layer,
Yeah.
you had taken a step onto
I found a
board.
squishy spot on the board, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and he turned around and he's like, "Be careful," and I'm like, "Did you just dip down into that?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it was soft.
How am I supposed to know where to drive?"
They were actually restoring the battleship, and they did it in 4 sections, I think it was. From the way it looked like they did it in 4 sections, or was going to do it in 4 sections. So they had one side that was completely enclosed, where they redid the floor and they painted and all that kind of stuff. But the part where we walked on, it was still.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was World War II wood. I don't think it was, but it was very old wood.
I would have believed it was World War II wood. The way that it felt going across it.
Yeah.
And
we went to
like-
the back of the, all the way to the back of the boat.
Yeah, but see, like, I had been teasing Michael the day before, I think it was the day before, sometime on the trip, about being scared of heights.
I'm not a fan of heights.
No, he's not. And I'm, like, okay with them, but I was scared on that boat because it's literally like a rope,
Yeah.
a wire.
The side rail is just
side
like
rails.
it's just like a cable,
Just a
rails on the
cable.
side, and
Just at like chest height.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing else. And like I had described before about my wheelchair having the joystick up high, like you bump me a little bit and it's
You're
over
sold.
with. And so I didn't want anybody near me when we were going down the sides of the ship or anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody near me at all that
So,
might bump me.
I was playing guard watchers. Stop. Let
I
me
was
through.
I was freaked out going by there, and I said, okay, I might be afraid of heights right now.
Then we got to the bow, and it goes up the ship. Of course, the massive anchor chain is across the boat, and it actually goes off the bow on to side. So it cut it off to where she couldn't get all the way to the tip of the bow. I mean, what
Yeah.
are you going to do? It's the anchor.
So how big do you think those chains were?
Pretty big. I mean, I didn't have a tape measure with me, but they were
Like each
rather large.
part of the link, I swear, had to be like 6 inches in diameter.
I don't like the almost as big as you on each link you're talking about. But yeah, so it was fun. I mean, got to see the pictures of the thing. I wanted to see the whole. Of course, being a big kid and hard, I wanted to see the whole ship without the restoration. But the part that they had restored, they restored the wood, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
And matter of fact, right after, it was a month or so ago, a friend of mine, he went there with his kids and said, I asked him about it on Facebook, and he said it was completely restored. They got done with all of it, and it looks great.
Yeah.
So we go back by there. We have to go look at it again.
Yeah. And we, of course, we didn't even say that we've been collecting magnets the whole way through.
No.
Started with Laurel.
Yeah, we got the
got
one
one
at
at the
Laurel.
zoo
Then we got one at the zoo, and we got one at the hangout.
and the hangout.
And then when we left the battleship, before we actually got on the battleship, they have a kind of small, but it's a really nice museum, an aircraft museum. And because I love airplanes and everything, I got to see all the jets and stuff, and I took a bunch of videos, just completely kitted out.
He was.
I was loving it. Matter of fact, there's one of my favorite planes is the SR-71 Blackbird, spy plane, world's fastest airplane, everything. And as a kid, I remember, and I always tell a story that I saw a Blackbird down there, and I actually was able to touch it, reached over the sign that says "Do not touch," and I touched it on the outside, on the wing, on the right side engine. And I always loved that. Well, I got down there and I looked at her and I was like, I'm mistaken. That's not a Blackbird. That's the A-12. That's the actual prototype. That's the plane that they designed and they built before they actually built the Blackbird. So it's a little shorter, a little pointier than the Blackbird was. It was their test plane. So that was neat. So I had to correct myself on.
And he was trying to give me a history lesson and teach me all of the planes and everything down there. And then he would like test me on it.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, which one was that one? And I'm like, or especially when we came home and you would show me planes like on videos and stuff, and you were like, which one is that one? And I would say the wrong thing, and he's like, don't you remember? And I'm like, but it wasn't. I said, that's not the color that it was.
And I'm like, they paint them different colors for camos and when they're in theater at different
That's
different
how I tell
places.
things apart, is by like what color.
I was like, look at the wings or the engine replacement or
They all look the same to me.
kind of like cars too. Oh, I like that one.
I
It's
know.
green.
Yeah. I'm a little better with cars, but only because,
You're around them more often.
well, my dad really liked
Yeah.
cars, and he was into like the antiques, and we always went to car shows and stuff growing up. So
But she's learning. So I really enjoyed seeing all the fighters in a row out there on the front.
Yeah.
and of course, just as we walked into the museum is when the bottom fell out. A huge rainstorm come over, and so as we was walking around in there, we stayed dry. And as soon as it was over, the rain was over with, so we got on the battleship, which is why it was wet. On the wood was soft up there, and then we left to come back, and we bought our last magnet of the trip, which was for the battleship.
Yep.
And then as I was walking back out, I went and saw my A12 one more time, and I wanted to go see the B-52 Stratofortress. And
that was on the way in.
We saw it on the way in. I wanted to go out, actually get it back out, and walk back and look at it. And as we're walking to the van, we could see a wall of water coming towards us. Just as I got her strapped in the seat, and I closed the door, it hit. I was like, I'm not going to see I'm not going to see the Buff.
No.
So the Buff is the nickname they call the Stratofortress. The big ugly fat fella.
Nerd.
I love seeing them. There's a bunch of them stationed out of Shreveport, and I love going towards Dallas or going through Shreveport, and you looking in the horizon and stuff, and you see the massive vertical tail on it when you're flying through. Yes, I'm nerding out again. Anyways, back to the rest of the story.
Yeah. So then we just headed home, and that was. I would say it was a very successful trip that we almost didn't go on because of the weather, and it turned out to be pretty amazing. And
I am extremely thankful that we went.
Yeah, me too.
That was we
needed to get away.
Yeah.
The first year was.
Everybody's first year of marriage is a challenge, and I mean our challenges is not really any different, just because they may look different and we have different challenges, but it was a lot of.
I actually think that the challenges that we had really had nothing to do with me not having arms and legs. I think they were just normal couple things that we
moving away from family and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I can't wait to go back.
Yes, but just not over Labor Day weekend.
Not over the weekend.
Yeah.
So, I guess that wraps up the
anniversary /
honeymoon
/ Labor Day /
birthday.
Birthday.
Yeah, so
tune in for our next video.
Yep.
What are we going to talk about in the next video?
The Great Thanksgiving Debacle.
Ooh, that's a good word for it, Honeybee.
It was definitely a debacle.
It was a debacle, so you want to come back.
So
and
you definitely want to tune into that.
Yeah. Until next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys. How was it?
What? Order pizza.
Order pizza? No.